at coming between lanes and being a cleanup guy, and he has that escape from CC, which is going to be very strong against, you know, Garrosh, Urel. You know, Leoric is a hero that has always been a safe pick when it feels like all else fails, because his Entomb works like with how Heroes of the Storm is designed. Look, let's be real. There's a lot of AOE combos, a lot of AOE stuns, damage, etc. That's just how it's been, how Heroes has been since it was released, right? So Entomb is kind of good no matter what you're running, unless you're just running like 2 range poke heroes. Like if you're running like Vala and Raynor, maybe it's like not as good, but if you're running something like a Li Ming, you've got ETC, Deckard K, and like Entomb is so good in this setup.
I guess overall with the Li Ming pick, it actually worked out for them a little bit, because Miracle would have loved to have that Li Ming along with that Maiev, and Raynor does not work in the same way when you need the burst. It is not as much as Li Ming for sure, does not have any other mage, but of Raynor instead. That is an interesting last pick, I do think it is.
I almost even feel like Garrosh doesn't work well with the Maiev either. Like a Diablo might have been better here, or ETC if they could have had it. And yeah, like this is definitely going to be containment desk, I feel, because they're just going to try to contain Deckard and then win the fight that way. Is if you try to use the cage, like what are you caging exactly? Like what do you really... I mean, if Urel uses her, you know, armor ult instead, I guess. Like everyone's in the cage and we have armor, but that's not what's gonna happen here. Let's just put the honesty on the table here. Like, no.
Well, only Urel, and might as well have White Mane then, if you want to have that. But of course, she was banned out. Feliz making a really early rotation as Maiev took the top one. Leoric will join into the fight, which was going to happen, but Feliz, they do not go all the way in for some reason.
It was a good call by Feliz to rotate here because they knew that the rotation happened top for the neutral camp, and I think they should have committed further, like you're saying here. Because now look at how much damage.
This,
how much damage they lose here.
They gave this for free, and then they took nothing out of the bottom rotation, which was a very questioning move for me. If you're going to give one up, at least try something else, which you have very high chance, 3v4. Why not go in? It's
the fear of Garrosh, and we do have to remember this is Judy's Garrosh after all, which is one of the most fearsome in this league. So, it's so much so that it was target banned throughout the entirety of the beginning of this year. So there are, you know, things to be scared of, but when you do hesitate, when you do give too much respect to Judy, then yeah, there are costs. And that gate in the top lane is completely wiped out now.
Which Leoric will be cleaning up. Of course, it will be even better if you have the Janitor one.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that, man. That was the sickest concept art I've ever seen.
I'm calling it 2020.
I'm going to say 2021.
What's you win?
I think I'm going to be safer on this one. We were the risky pick 2020 now, man. 2021 is the safer pick here for that Janitor. We've been waiting for a while. We can wait a little bit longer, okay?
Okay.
It's funny to see how those two soul laners land against each other on the opposite side of each other. All right, here's the channel. No one can interrupt, so it's just going to be a trade. You're all a little bit too slow on that one.
A little bit too slow, but got an extra wave. Pushed into the wall, I believe now. Or has a turret down, or at least to be close to it. Unstoppable. Early one. Judy does not get caught, but what's happening after? At least can they really pressure in with ETC only?
You look at how much respect everyone shows Judy on Feliz. You can really feel it. And now Hanaten comes in a little bit late. He's alone. They're going to collapse on him. He does escape, and this is an opportunity for OJ to get in there. And it is Deckard Cain we're talking about, so the sustainability here is insane. Miracle's going to take a little bit longer to lick their wounds and heal up.
And Raynor versus Hammer. Raynor has a tougher time. And they picked Raynor into Sergeant Hammer, though. That's just showing confidence that because they have Maiev, just thinking, okay, we can just get a grab on the bind, the tether onto the Hammer, maybe we can just bring it in. That doesn't really follow up with Sniper. He's not the one to be known with that Maiev pick too much, and we don't really see a crazy engage. Maybe this will be their chance.
Yep. Gonna go in for the engage too. Sniper jumps on. Uh-oh, this is a disaster. Leo is caught, and he is certainly going to die. Drops out his Scroll of Sealing, but it's really just a parting gift at this point. Not actually going to trap anyone. I love that knockback onto these.
Judy literally throws him in there. And Sniper's suddenly in there just getting the tether. What's a nice synergy though, because he didn't even have to use the spirit to go in.
Yeah, that was really well played. Interrupting, getting the invade, knocking this wall down. So 2 walls down for Feliz, basically, top and bottom. As Leoric is down here on cleanup duty. Every time I say it now, I'm going to think of the janitor skin we don't have.
Already Maiev is up there getting another pair of
yeah.
three sappers.
And what did they do this time when they know Maiev is up there? They're going to force this wall down. That's the kind of commitment they needed last time. They're at least going to trade this now. So 2 cannon towers going to go down. In fact, Naughton's going to slow that down here. Sergeant Hammer, when you've got a hero like this, you can just commit to a push like this when you know that Maiev is missing. I actually like what Feliz is doing here a lot.
Yes, they had to do this minutes ago, but they have now started doing it without. They do find out the rotation from Maiev with those mines.
What a terrifying thing to play Hammer against Judy's Garrosh, man. Dudu's playing with fire. Let's get a little bit of extra shots off. So I like what Feliz is doing, but it's like you said, it's a little bit late. And Miracle's knocking on the door to 10 right now. And that's when their comp is going to come further online. The containment disc is going to be the big one. That's the heroic that's going to be the most impactful once they hit it. And there it is. So Hyperion as well, very common pick on this map. Great for delay as well as just pushing the objectives.
It seems like they really want to go all the way into the Bell Tower with the ground as well from Miro.
Yeah, that's pretty rare.
Which we see from Kyocha from time to time when you just go in, Irel just soaks damage from the fort or keep. And with Hyperion, even easier of a time. Look at the CTC. Just delete it. This is... Oh, never mind. With the power slide, just keep himself alive this time.
He was deleted. It's just that maybe an undo. Control Z on that delete real quick from Deck.
Rewind myself and let's get that miss call done.
Well, I mean, the cool thing about the ground, is it Sacred Ground? I think it's Sacred Ground, right? I don't know the exact name, but it's people usually don't think about this. I think a lot of people don't know this, but it is permanent unless she steps out of it. So, I mean, it will be there forever.
Well, she's the only one, so it is pretty tough to get full value. Oftentimes, Judy gets focused, and that's one gone, but still has Irel.
Yep. It's a pick that I use on Braxis. That's for the souling. I'm like, yeah, you want to fight?
To take all the damage.
Check out my armor. no, just to stand on the beacon.
Oh, the beacon.
Yeah.
Just take that.
And I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna stay on this forever. You want to fight? But yeah, it's not looking good for Feliz. They have the heroics now. Interestingly, Hanaten is considering March to the Black King, which I think is good with Stay a While and Listen. So if an Entomb opportunity arises, well, he's going to lock it in before that, actually. I was going to say if an Entomb opportunity arises, he could look for that engage as well. Big damage here onto this wall, catching them up in experience. Meanwhile, you know, the Orc's preventing Yrel from rotating down. They've got positional advantage. This should just be a free channel. Really well played by Feliz here to push Miracle back, gate them into this area down here where they cannot really get out of the, out of their bell tower.
This is what makes Reina really hard to play hero against Sergeant Hammer. That's why also a reason why we see a lot of Sergeant Hammer bans from Gen G, because they often like to play Reina and Sergeant Hammer makes it super tough. Franco, notice him, he can't really get into the range too much, and he will be just forced away, as you can't just have the same range. You don't really have anyone to dive in unless you bring Irel here, and you will be missing that soak from top. Then which one do you choose as Miracle? I think they are hesitating to answer that question right now.
You play any game where there's a range advantage, you'll know the feeling. Like for example, if you play StarCraft 2, it's like when you don't have stim for your Marines and you're trying to chase stalkers and they're just kiting you, and that's the kind of feeling. Sergeant Hammer's still a Terran unit in this case, but you just feel like, I could blow her up if I could just get there, but if she just stays on the edge and outranges you, if you do commit to getting to where she is, you're going to take so much damage on the way. And Garrosh especially gets so abused by Hammer. It's insane. Sure, his armor towards the end of his health bar is, you know, going to make her basically do no damage, but that's when Li Ming comes through with the burst damage and finishes him off. So it's... The Hammer pick is really cool. I personally think Hammer's a little bit overrated, but in good hands and with good usage here, like what we're seeing from Dudu, it's always been one of his comfort picks in the past, and, you know, he's executing this very well. They've caught up in experience through that bottom pressure.
Yes, so far. And Miracle does have the Joker pick called Maiev, who can bring everything in and just have one containment disc and make it a 4v5 team fight, or just have one isolated during team fight. That's also an option for them. So I think Miracle, and they're also leading in core as well. They still have a lot of chance, lots of ganking potential. I think they just have to get the 5 men in, which Feliz is actually not making that happen with that Leoric pick.
Every time, you know, they trade these 1-for-1s, it's a huge win for them. And here's the Hyperion commitment. You know, we talked about how it's kind of a Towers of Doom exclusive. Feels that way anyways. I've seen it a few times on Cursed. It helps you take control of these bell towers with the Yamato cannon coming through. It survives, but there's always the threat they can come back down here later with a rotation. If they get that bell tower, it means that Sergeant Hammer is almost worthless for the rest of the game. That's why they commit to it, because Dudu can't just sit down here and power on their bell tower and outrange them if they have to be cleaning up the red bell tower that's taken from them first. So I actually like what Miracle did there. They didn't kit the bell tower, but they will be able to get it easier now. But this is what I'm talking about. This is where Dudu is doing so much damage. If they steal that bell tower, he can't do this anymore.
Maiev is actually all the way at the top. I don't think he was spotted. Maybe with the last wave he was. That's the reason why Feliz can actually pressure into this. As long as they have an eye on that Garrosh, Dudu can just escape easily. It's not going to be a hard one. Maiev does come into rotation. They do know. OJ, face melt.
He's coming in here. As you say, the face melt's been used. The disc does not connect. And that's unfortunate. That would have been a huge opportunity. But now they can't get this bell tower. This is the final triple bell tower. So Feliz can catch up in this moment. This is a huge, huge opportunity for them to make sure they utilize it correctly. Dudu is pushing this wave out. And now they're going to fight for this one. Yrel takes right side. So if Nitrogen actually goes to fight Leoric, this is great for Miracle. But he's not. He's rotating down. He knows they need his help.
Baiting with the Spirit Dudu. He wants to be the bait and make them come in. Leoric's lower in the rotation. Actually not even joining to the team fight. He's wave clearing. There's no Nitrogen. Okay,
here comes Nitrogen now, though. The thrusters are just enough to get Dudu out. OJ caught here. No armor. Frankel going to help blow him up. And that's going to be 4 more shots here. This could get even worse. This could be a boss play if they get these kills, and they will. Entomb defensively here. Nitrogen's mounted, though. He's got the insta-mount, so sorry about that. But post 7, you're not getting away.
At least got Leoric up alive from that moment. And they're really close to getting the bell tower. I think they might get the bell tower and the sappers.
Yeah, they're going to get this first before the sappers get here, so they're going to try to escort these. This is, I think, a little bit greedier than just taking the boss. Because after this happens, even if you get these 3 shots, you're not going to get the boss because respawns are going to come through, and you may not even get these in. Li Ming trying her best to delay. Okay, does delay it for a moment there with Wave of Force, and they do get 2.
I think that was 3.
Oh, was it actually 3? Yes, yeah, you're right, it was 3.
Wave of Force did help for a second, but not enough damage. No CC to chain that sapper.
My B. I thought it blew up.
That's okay. I can do math.
You can do math. I didn't look at the UI. All right, you know. You and I cast with like no heroic cooldowns for a long time, so I don't even look up there anymore. You know.
We're not the only people.
Well, let's see how long they can hold on to this. Because remember, Dudu was putting so much pressure on, getting so much value of this hammer. Now, not so much. He has to use it defensively here just to retake a bell tower.
And meantime, Yrel's actually taking the top one as Nitrogen was caught in the Frankel. That's the power of Garrosh, the reason why you actually brings him in. They will lose the bell tower back, but they're getting the top one meanwhile, so all they have to do is buy time, make a safe exit. they're winning.
Yeah.
They're still winning the game.
That's still a concern, though, getting out of here safely. Nice groundbreaker here. Judy is, I mean, you can see how confidently he walks into the missiles and the orb there as well, take less damage. Naughton is in serious trouble.
A stun on, and Nitrogen does come in time. Lyric goes down. HGC is in that disc.
Perfectly timed groundbreaker right after the disc as well. Nitrogen just holding on to that 40 armor. And that's all they needed. This is going to be their altar. Naughton's trying his best to cheat that death. Sounds weird when you say it like that. He's trying to get his death timer reduced. He's popped back into this fight. He's got an Entomb, but fortunately Miracle's just on the way out. Nice power slide.
But Cleanse will just save Judy out of there. Ooh, that's a big damage, but Aimer also almost died because of that. Entomb, Franco, but again Judy saving him this time.
Is that fair that Garrosh can reach through that cage and toss him up? How does that work? Uh-oh, look at Nitrogen. Flank in. He's charged up. He's got the leap into the stun. Insta-stun. The taunt. Sleep comes down. That's going to be one.
Great root by Deckard. Just grabbing everyone basically, but Feliz, they're very low. They have to make something happen. They knew it. They're going to late game. There's balls up there. One more sapper. That was going to be game. So they knew that they had to make an engage. They got one done, at least.
For a second, I thought they were actually going to try to take the boss. I was like, well, you know, I see where your ideas are at. But yeah, they're just going to take this bell tower using the sappers, put that pressure on. Then they could use that top pressure to retake their bell tower bottom. And if they can get both bell towers, they get 20. I think in this moment, Feliz should be being more proactive. The sappers themselves are somewhat of a threat, but Miracle is like, there's no threat of death here. So even if all 6 sappers go through, which they won't, like Miracle doesn't really feel the pressure from this. I think trying to get picks on the top lane, rotating and getting Urel might have been the better option. Because, like, let's see how many of these sappers go through. I'm not sure if, you know, any of them will actually connect.
Nope.
First 3 dead.
0. 3 more coming, but they actually managed to do that in time. They're giving 3 shots up, so to do more damage to Feliz, which will just be 2 left right after.
I was like, now Miracle's like, well, I mean, I don't care if those 3 shots go in. I've got 24 health on my core. So I'm going to commit to this fight, which is the one that wins me the game. 20 right around the corner here. They didn't get either bell tower, but they have it now.
And Judy takes a significant amount of damage, but he can't go in. But they have 20. And also Malfurion, who's pretty good at sustain.
Good. Threading the needle there, just barely missing with the magic missiles right on everybody. Liu's got the channel. Interrupt coming through, but Judy is in trouble. He's got all that armor, and that's going to help him stay alive longer. Aimer gets a reset here, but that's all he gets. Here's the armor for Nachogen, so he is basically immortal right now. So you can see Hanaten jumps away, but he's down. This may just be the end of the second map. Looks like Miracle is going to match point as Aimer tries his best to interrupt.
And Repulsion does not really help. He needs to take Archon if he wants to he wants to win this game, and that's not happening. And
Archon would have been the right choice in this specific moment.
Yes, you never go against Archon.
But even down members here, because of the Yorick, I guess, they give this up. Really interesting. I don't know if Miracle needed to respect Aimer that much. It was really cool to see Archon at Eastern Clash.
It's one of the best games. Even giving up this boss might actually be huge. Yeah,
like Nitrogen can get on this. He has his sacred ground, but like he can't. Like they're just not there. So I don't want to call this like a throw by any means, but I feel like Miracle is being too safe. You know what I'm saying? Like if they get the top bell tower, then they're going to have control of the map. But you know they could lose a fight down here because Urel is top instead of coming down here. So
anywhere around 10 can actually be one team fight at the very late game. Can actually be one team fight, few sappers, or a boss. That's just GG. And they do manage to get the top one. So this one, Feliz would love to get it to control it back to 4-4.
Well, you know, with Urel's, lurking mid, they actually very likely will get this. Coming down now. Here's the containment disc. This is the fight they need. It has to be right now. Root a little bit early.
though with the roots. Stay while and listen. Doesn't really get too much out of it.
Good into.
Good silence onto Garrosh only though. Can they focus and get the kill? Li Ming tries to focus but not coming through with the kill. No resets happening.
Franco gonna go ahead and use Inspire to chase. OJ's caught here. Root does not connect.
Nice repulsion there. Save his teammate, OJ is.
Okay, but this is the channel they have to prevent. They have to prevent this channel. They're actually looking at the fight down here, but they need to be looking at this channel. OJ is not there. Are you kidding me? Is this going to happen? Judy barely is interrupted there.
I think OJ just bolted in there to get that channeling canceled. Sniper dives in. Yutu's getting focused. Oh, that's a tether now. Power slide into the mosh, but no one's in there. He gets blown out. That's one down. Containment this. Make this fight into a 5v3 repulsion. Just out of damage. Sniper does survive.
If Aimer got that, man, he gets the resets, and this is a different fight, but it's not going to be the case. He's trying everything he can to get in there and get those kills, but it's not going to happen. He's here alone, alive, but no way to finish off the members of Miracle, and that is going to be game here. Miracle will take match point after the 2-0 lead here. 12-0 at the end. Have to wonder if it needed to be that close, but Miracle played very cautiously.